books that I'm going to be recommending are books that can change your life regardless of what you do for a profession, what career you're in. Like, because the number one thing to invest in is always yourself.
Yeah.
Always. Hey, welcome to the Insurance Buzz. We are your host, Michael and Courtney Weaver, and today we are going to be sharing our 5 book recommendations that you need to read in 2025 to change your year and life, baby.
We're going to get comfortable. We're going to get cozy. If you are not watching us, we are currently sitting on a couch. We're going to invite you to have a conversation with us about some books that'll change your life. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, they'll change your life. They'll change your life. So who's kicking off here? Because just so everyone knows, we didn't share what books we're sharing. We have no idea what 5 each of us wrote down. So we're each going to share our 5 book recommendations. So you're actually going to get 10, maybe some of the same. I have no idea. So you want to go first? You want me to go first? What's up?
I had such a hard time with this.
Really?
Yeah, when I was going through our Audible, there are over 300 books in our Audible. And that's not including, I mean, I'm looking at like 7 books right here, like hardback books. So we love to read. I grew up with the belief, and I still have this belief, that knowledge is power. So for me, being able to read and get different perspectives and really help me kind of navigate whatever it is that I'm going through. If somebody's already gone through it, I want to read the book that they wrote about it, right? You know,
For sure.
So I had a really hard time. So my list actually started at like 12, and I kept having to cut because you can go a bunch of different ways, and I don't want this to be just another list of like, these are the 5 books.
Nope.
I want these to be books for me to share with you that change your perspective.
That's right.
Because when you change perspective, or if you can modify behavior, for me, that's where real change occurs. So these are the books that I feel like can really change behavior or change perspective.
Amen. I think we went very similar routes here because when I thought of books that I would recommend, they're typically not how-to books. There's a lot of great books out there: business, leadership, marketing, sales. Fantastic books. You just said we have over 300 books in our Audible. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. That's kind of our motto. And so, but I also went the same route of books, and I think there will be a common theme here from what it's sounding like, that books that I'm going to be recommending are books that can change your life regardless of what you do for a profession, what career you're in. Like, because the number one thing to invest in is always yourself.
Yeah.
Always. And that's why we read so much. But anyways, all right.
You want me to start?
Kick off with book number 1.
You're creeping on my list.
Let's go. Let's see what you got.
Number 1, I am rereading this currently. We brought the paperback, and I'm listening to it on Audible every single day. Number 1 book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I am obsessed with this book because for me, a lot of times I'm always trying to look outside for answers to my own internal problems. I want to go out, and it's easy for me to point a finger out, to blame, to get into victim mode. This is why it's not working. In our industry, it's really easy to do that in the insurance industry. It's compliance, or it's the rates, or it's the carriers, or whatever. And so this book really focuses on ownership of your habits, and how if you take somebody's habits, you can actually see exactly what their life looks like now and what their life is going to look like.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with this for another reason, is dealing with my grandmother, who, as you know, has vascular dementia. And she's at this stage in her life where I'm just watching her decline. She still has some of her habits. And for me, that's a very real thing of, what are my habits now that I am doing that are taking care of the 80-year-old version of myself? It's so much bigger than just like complaining about the day and how it's not going my way, or the government, or whatever outside villain I create. It's about, am I creating habits that are serving me now and in the future? So Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. What's the old saying? Show me your habits and I'll show you who you are in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So Atomic Habits is a fantastic book. That's not my number one recommendation, though.
It's not?
No, it's not.
What's your number one?
My number one recommendation is going to be The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. This is a book that talks about the law of attraction, manifestation, and it is a book that I read every single year, typically multiple times a year. And that is why it is my number one book, because when people ask me, Michael, what books would you recommend reading? The book that I most consistently recommend in every conversation is The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. This book changed my life, not my wife, my life. It changed
did
my.
Change me too.
It did change you too. It just changed my outlook on how I see every single day and how to look at things in a more positive way, and really helped me understand that I'm in control of my own future. I'm a creature of creativity. I'm not a creature of just what happens to me.
Circumstance.
That's right, of circumstance. So either way, book recommendation number one, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne.
Okay, so are you putting these in order of like number one, number two? Okay, so that's not how I'm doing mine. I'm just going to throw them out there. I'm not going to create a hierarchy, Michael Weaver.
Okay.
But Atomic Habits, I would say, is a non-negotiable. One of my favorite quotes from that book is, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And so it's really about creating daily systems for me.
So, transparently, Atomic Habits didn't make my top 5.
You're going to give that away.
I really debated. I really thought about it. Atomic Habits is a great book. It could have been in my top 5 very easily, but it fell to number 6.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to piggyback. I'm going to go for number 2. It is also by Rhonda Byrne.
Okay.
The Magic.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, actually, where is that book?
I don't even know where the book is. I just had it. Yeah. I'm currently reading this book, and I am in love with this book.
So The Magic, the reason why I love it is a 28-day practice of gratitude. And I think we all could use more gratitude every single day. What we're focusing on really becomes our life. And I think I know gratitude is the quickest way to pull you out of any kind of situation that is negative. You feel like you want to complain. You feel like, again, you're playing that victim role. I think gratitude is the quickest way of getting into that space of abundance versus the space of lack.
Yeah.
Of paying attention to all the things you don't have, flipping that, reframing it, and going, oh, I'm grateful for this that's in front of me. And it just, for me, I like having that regimented too, like the daily practice of this is what we're doing today.
Yeah, it's a terrific book. I'm so glad that you put that in your top 5, because I considered saying my number 1 recommendation is The Secret and The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. Like, together, do it. Read The Secret, read The Magic, back to back. I'm not all the way through the book. That's why I didn't recommend it. But I'm loving it. It is a fantastic book, and I do also love the fact that it makes it easy on you because of the daily practices that it instructs you to do. It's simple, it's easy, and it just gets you in a great headspace around thinking around what's the best thing that happened to you today. Yeah. What are you grateful for today? So I love it.
Count your 10 blessings.
Great recommendation. Let's go.
All right. Number 2 for you.
Book number 2. This is going to sound familiar as well. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It is another one that I understand is a classic, but it is a book that Courtney can tell you I read every single year. So I always read The Secret. I always read Think and Grow Rich. I don't read Think and Grow Rich as many times throughout the years I do The Secret, but I typically will read Think and Grow Rich a minimum of twice every single year. Okay.
This is getting weird now. This is getting really weird because my number 3 is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill.
Oh.
The thing that I love is there are certain books that come along again and will completely change perspective and mindset, and books that will withstand the test of time. And Napoleon Hill has done a fantastic job of writing books that withstand the test of time. He's writing books about human beings and behavior and mindset. And that is timeless. We're still going to go through different struggles as humans. Outwitting the Devil is really the story that you're telling yourself and pulling yourself out of that kind of sleepwalking lull that so many of us find ourselves in, and really waking up to what is the dream that you have for your life.
Oh, that's a terrific book.
Yeah.
Dang, that's such a good book.
Yeah.
Such a good one. All right, number 3 for me. So my first 2 books were more mindset, I would say. Mindset, manifestation, like just being a great person.
Yeah.
Like calling in what you want. My third recommendation is going to go more to the health side. So I was thinking happy, healthy, wealthy. Like, what should I go here? So number 3, I'm going to say the book Outlive, the Science and Art of Longevity by Peter Attia. So this is a book that we just listened to on the way to Sedona on Audible, and it was hard for us to shut it off.
Yeah.
It just, health is very important to me. That's why I like my health routine so much. I'm always striving to just live as healthy as I can because I want to live as long as I can. You know this. You may not know this, but I have a goal of living to age 140. The only way I'm going to get there is if I take care of myself now. And that's exactly what this book talks about. And it's just not high level. He actually gives you the tangibles of, hey, go to your doctor, ask for this blood work. Here are the signs if this pops up in your blood work. And so I would recommend every single person listening to this right now, put this as a book that you must read in 2025 if you are focused on your health. Again, it's called Outlive, the Science and Art of Longevity by Peter Attia.
We got turned on to him. We actually watched on Disney Plus, I think it's called Limitless with Chris Hemsworth. And he was the physician that was going through and doing so many of these different health challenges with Chris Hemsworth. And then he wrote this book. And to your point, it is so detailed on these are the labs, these are the markers. He talks about the 4 horsemen that will take you out. And it's a great book to grab at any stage in your life, but especially now with our focus so tuned in, not just how do we look, but how do we feel? How do we perform? How long, like what is our quality of life?
Quality of life, performance. And his whole thing is so many times you don't worry about your health until you get sick.
Yeah.
When in all reality, if you can be as preventative as possible right now in 20s, 30s, 40s, that will equate to a longer, healthier lifestyle in your 70s, 80s, and 90s, theoretically.
Yep. Yeah, I love that book. Okay, the next one I specifically chose for insurance professionals, and it is called Indistractable.
Okay.
Indistractable by near Eyal. I'm going to butcher that name, but Indistractable is, when I read this book, it really hit home to the power of focus and flow, and how being on this quick switch of like, task switching, jumping from this thing to this thing, of how it's robbing me of getting to the creative juice that I have in certain sections. So it's really harnessing this power of focus and becoming indistractable. Because for me, the most important thing that I have is my attention. Mm-hmm. What do I pay attention to? What grabs my attention? Where does my attention go? So if I can really harness some more power around being indistractable and paying attention to my attention, then I can change the game.
Yep.
I can focus and go in that direction. And I think in the insurance industry, I've said this a gazillion times, it's like a live game of whack-a-mole.
Oh.
Where you're just bing, 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 bing. And it's really, okay, let's take a step back and let's put things on our calendar and focus on things that are important to us.
Yep.
And this is in all areas of our life. I mean, think about how many times somebody wants your attention and you're looking at your phone. You're distracted by your phone. And for me, I'm unwilling to give my power away to things like that. So Indistractable.
Great book. I read that last year. It was mind-blowing. Some of the things that it talks about, it shares like ways to actually take tangible steps in how to not be distracted. So I love that.
We actually do this. We started this with the scrunchie on the door, where Michael and I have separate offices that we work out. Now get your mind out of the
Come on now. I know where your mind just went.
This is not college. We're not putting a sock on the door. But I did get the idea from that. Oh. So I got the idea from that, because I'm like, all right, we got to create a system. So there's a cue so we know when we are in this concentration flow and we can't be interrupted. So whenever I go into my office and I put my scrunchie on the outside of my door, Michael knows she's doing her thing. She can't be distracted. So he shares things and ideas like that.
Yeah.
He actually does a concentration crown, which is like a tiara.
Yep.
I thought, you know what? Let's keep it in the basement, like college. Let's just do something on
I love
door.
it, but it is perfect because if I walk down to your office, I see the scrunchie. I'm like, she's busy.
Unavailable.
She's unavailable.
I'm
She's
unavailable.
working. She's in some deep work right now.
Yeah.
All right, book number 4 for me. I went more of the money side of things. So money mindset. It is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker. This is a book. I wouldn't say I read it every year, but I read it every other year. It's one of those books that it also changed my outlook on money in general and what it actually takes to be successful, wealthy, whatever you want to say, how to accumulate money, attract money. This book is a book that I also would recommend anyone read, and that's why it is in my top 5 that you must read in 2025. Even if you read it before, I'd recommend going and revisiting it. So again, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker.
Yeah, he hits home on that. Your thermostat for attracting wealth, attracting money, and hanging on to that. Yep. And it really focuses on that broke is a mindset and really reframing that mindset.
It's so as you can see in the 3 of the 4 recommendations, it's all
mindset
right here. Like your mindset is going to be everything in life. What you believe, it's like the old saying, what you believe you're going to achieve, but it's so true. And that's why 3 out of the 5 books have everything to do with your own personal mindset, growth, development, how you look at the world, how you see things, abundance versus scarcity. And I really hope that you take these books, you read them, you enjoy them, and you apply them to your life.
I completely agree. The outer world is just a reflection of your inner world. And anything that can shift perspective to where you have more hope, belief, opportunity, gratitude. Isn't that the world that you want to live in?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is really hard because now we're down to number 5. So
The very last book.
I might do a bonus one.
Do a bonus one.
Okay, so I was torn between 2 books. So I'm going to just share 2 of them. I was torn for number 5, either Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller.
Okay.
Or Day Trading Attention by Gary Vee. They're both great books, very different. I'm not going to pick. I'm going to offer them up to you, and I'm going to let you pick. So Building a Story Brand, Donald Miller does a fantastic job of really talking about how to position your business, even if you're just a person, how to position yourself. You have your own unique brand. As a brand, and really how to position the customer as the hero in that story. And he really breaks down how important it is to go through the story and really making the customer the hero of that story, and how brands, which is me and you and everyone listening, can position themselves in a way that the customer goes, yes, I want to work with you, and this is exactly what I need. So I love it for that, because so many times we have a tendency to not show up or not build a brand because we don't want to oversell. We don't want to look like an infomercial. So he really does a great job of positioning people as brands and how to do that. The other one is Day Trading Attention with Gary Vee. And again, attention for me is something that I'm like super focused on, because not only am I trying to really do a good job of keeping an eye on what is I'm giving my attention to, but also, am I attracting attention to the thing that I want? And as a business owner, it is such a loud and noisy space when you go put yourself out there on social media. It's really, how do you stand out? So I think Gary Vee I'm such a huge fan, because he's always leading with, that dude gives back. He leads with generosity. He leads with kindness. Like anyone whose message is to be a more kinder, compassionate person, I am 1,000,000% on board with that, because I think that love is the answer always. So.
And his message is always, I love that part of his message, and I always love the other message that, hey, it's never too late and you have plenty of time.
Yeah.
So I love that book. I love your selections. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's go.
Okay. It's your number 5.
Number 5.
Yeah.
My number 5 book that will change your life in 2025. This is one's for those of you specifically in sales. And the book is going to be quote 3, How to Make Multiple Six Figures in Any Sales Organization by yours truly, Michael Weaver. No, this is not a sales pitch.
That was going to be my bonus number 6, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm putting this in my top 5. I knew that I felt like this was a really good book when I wrote it. It's a little bit different than any other sales book you've ever read. It's going to give you tangibles, practical processes that you can implement, go and see immediate results with. But I also incorporated stories within this book to keep you engaged and to share. And the feedback has been absolutely amazing. I mean, when you have some people, like I'm so grateful for these reviews. When you have multiple comments that are like, hey, this is the best sales book ever written, like that shit, man, that just hits, because that means it's changing people's lives. And that's why I wrote the book in the first place, was to simplify sales. And I don't mean to get choked up, but why we do what we do is for impact. And so I got to recommend quote 3. If you have not checked it out, please check it out. It is a great read. Personally, it's a great read if you want to do it as a team read. Quote 3, How to Make Multiple Six Figures in Any Sales Organization. And I also want to say that if you are somebody that pre-ordered the book or have ordered the book and you have not received the book, so first and foremost, for every single one of you that have already purchased quote 3, thank you for your support. It means a lot. For those that have purchased it but haven't received it yet, we had a slight hiccup with publisher, Amazon. Long story short, it was a great problem. We sold out of books. But the problem is in the details. The publisher, Amazon, quit communicating. And so there's some of you out there that still haven't received the book, and we want to make sure you get taken care of. So if you're one of those individuals that have not received the book, please shoot me a text right now, 816-727-7610. We'll make sure that you get taken care of. But those are my top 5 book recommendations for 2025.
Oh, I love that you added quote 3. That was my bonus number 6, because it goes in line with changing perspectives. And I think as somebody who spent my entire adult life in sales, I was under the impression that it was hard, or that I had to do it in a sleazy way, because that's typically what you associate or that you see. And I love that you break it down in such a simple way, and it translates across so many industries. But at the core, we are people helping people. And this is how we communicate with people to solve the problem with the product or service that we offer. Like, that's what sales is. And so I love that you have really kind of shined a light on how to do sales in a different way, and how to do it in a way with integrity, but also do it your own way, with your own personality. But there's a clear framework of this is how it goes, the sales conversation goes. And if you follow this and add your own personality, then you won't feel pushy and you won't feel sleazy, and you'll feel like you're actually helping people. And that's why we're all here.
What I can guarantee you're not going to hear in the book is just do more. Just make more calls, just spend more money, just hire more people, just work more hours. Did I mention just work more hours? All right. So that is not what you're going to get in the book. If you are, if you're feeling a little bit of burnout right now, if you were maybe a little complacent in your sales career and you just don't know how to take it to the next level, I'd highly recommend picking it up. I believe it'll change your life and your career. Mm-hmm. So those are my 5 books.
I think I said 7.
You said 7 or 8. I don't even know. I lost count. Of course, overachiever. You say 5. You bring 8 to the table. Let's go.
I like it. I love books. I would love to know, either in the comment section or shoot us a text, what is one book that you have read that has completely changed your life? I would love to know, what is your book that you would put on your list to recommend for somebody to read in 2025.
Let's go. So as always, we appreciate you. Time and attention are by far our most important assets. We appreciate you spending time with us today on The Buzz, regardless if it's on the podcast, if you're checking us out on YouTube, maybe you're on Spotify listening and watching, baby. Look, we love you. We appreciate you. Go out, make it great.